Alright. Let's go, gang. We got Showtime in the bottom right side of the map playing Protoss up against Gumiho in the top left. It's another game from the Masters Coliseum 6, and these guys, I can't believe it, they're the underdogs in this group. I mean, Trigger is probably the biggest underdog, but these two guys, Gumiho and Showtime, are also underdogs. That being said, I think Gumiho, if he can beat Maru in this group, since he's beaten him a bunch of times in big tournaments this year, I think he beat him in GSL, pretty sure he beat him in Sweden as well, eliminated him, then that would be nice. But obviously beating guys like Trigger, Showtime, Serral, Max Fax, very tough matches in this group stage in general. But best of 3 match, Gumiho not going to scout, just going to do a nice double gas opening. And he's doing the one on, oh my god, he's fully pulling off one gas and leaving 3 on the other. This is so inefficient. This is such a noob thing. Gumiho, like, if anyone can speak to the pros, please, in Korean. I don't speak to Gumiho much. I'm gonna message him on Discord right after this game, and so stop doing this. Why do you have 3 workers on 1 gas? Guys, notice how the workers always have to wait. The 3rd worker only mines at like half efficiency. It slows down the whole mining on the whole thing. You could just have him mining over here at 100% efficiency. Oh, Beyond and Gumiho, you make me so mad sometimes. Anyways, Showtime is going for that Stargate opening that he's famous for. He's also checking for proxies right now. And the Reaper runs into the base. Adept's a little slow to turn around for that. It is indeed 10 a.m. in Australia for those watching live on a Saturday morning in Aussie, Friday evening in North America and Europe. And it's some good StarCraft I'm excited for, because Gumiho has a very weird style in this matchup. He doesn't like rushing ghosts. He likes to get a lot of mass bio. He also goes for 2-2 faster than most Terrans. More of a mass Marine Marauder medevac, good upgrades, and just outposition your opponent. Adept chilling in the main, Adept on the natural as well. Shield batteries coming up in the natural and in the main base. Showtime playing very safe with this, not taking any risks. 2 Adepts, 2 shield batteries into an Oracle. It is just going to be Widow Mines to start off for Gumiho. He built his command center on location, skipped the bunker, so he's playing pretty safe. Or, I mean, not really safe. I think he's playing quite greedy, actually. He just knows that Showtime's a very safe player, so you can imagine if those Adepts did try to come across, they could cause him problems. But he's got a Marine Mine drop getting ready. It's going to be 6 Marines in a Widow Mine, and then he'll have a Cyclone out just in time to stop the Oracle, I believe. So the Cyclone starts building as the Oracle flies out. And actually, the Oracle's going to defend. Oh, Showtime's playing so cautious. They don't call him the wall for no reason, man. Let's just say, guys, if Showtime was in charge of that big army, he wouldn't have sent the Dothraki out front to charge into the zombie horde. The man understands the power of fortifications and defensive positions. He's like, but I made their swords on fire, so they're going to run in front real quick and then die to the zombies and give them an army of cavalry. No! Showtime is not as stupid as the showrunners of Game of Thrones, thankfully. So he's going to use his defensive advantage whenever he gets the chance. Oh, Widow Mine drop. Only gets a single probe. Oracle's going to turn on those lasers, revelate the Widow Mine. And he tags the drop so we can see where it goes. Good handling so far for Showtime. He's trying to go into Colossus from here by the looks of it. Robo's not particularly early, though. Normally, Showtime's a player who likes to rush towards a 3rd base, but he hasn't done it just yet. 2nd Cyclone and a Viking on the way. Ooh, Showtime needs to just camp. And he knows it. Look at that. He's building another shield battery. He's making Stalkers. He's making Phoenix. As long as he stays on 2 base, he's good. He technically could try to hide like a corner base or something like that. But I think just focusing on defense is the right way to do it. Pylon finishes. He should be able to chrono that Immortal. He needs 275 minerals, and look at that. Immediately starts it. He did, I believe, cancel a Phoenix to get the money for that. And behind this 2nd and 3rd barracks building, he's going to be going for 2 reactors, 1 tech lab. This is the Gumiho special. Very marine-focused play. So he's going to have 2 barracks on reactors, and he's just going to make stim and then shields consecutively off the 1 tech lab. He'll add 2 more tech lab barracks a little bit later. Gives him a lot of firepower, but it is a very fragile army. Glass cannon in nature. It'll smash you down with the power of a cannon, but it'll shatter if you manage to hit it with any force at all. Probe coming over towards this 3rd base. A little bit of downtime in this build order. We had an interesting question. Is Innovation coming back? Now, that's a good question. He did come back and played a few tournaments, but I don't think he found immediate success, and I haven't seen him too active. I'm not sure if he signed up to the recent GSL qualifiers. I would imagine he's probably semi-retired right now and thinking of doing other things in life. Because Innovation is a guy who would be so quick to get back to the top level. I can't imagine he's practicing a lot, or I would have been seeing his face pop up in a lot more tournaments. But if anyone has any news in the comments, let us know. I do always love Innovation. Very good player to learn from. So methodical. A systems-based Terran. Gumiho also has systems. It's just they're the sort of systems that don't make sense. It's kind of like if you go driving a car in a different country and you're like, do you guys not have road rules? You don't realize at first they just have different road rules. It's a little bit wild. It's a bit different. They drive on the wrong side of the road. Crazy things happen. That's what happens if you're a regular Terran trying to understand a Gumiho build. Takes a bunch of study before you really get your feet underneath you and kind of understand what the hell's going on. The Nexus almost finished. Twilight Council is there. Extra few gateways coming in. That is the first Colossus on the field. He tries to chrono, but didn't have the gas for it. Oh! Okay, he does realize. Starts it up now. Observer's seen the army move out. Okay, this is a pretty nifty little army moving forward. Stasis Trap slows it down just a tiny bit. We've got more Stasis Traps behind it. The Oracle's spamming those bad boys out. He's just going to split a Marine into it, though. Gumiho not really too worried about all this. Scanning that Observer would definitely help Gumiho out. He's got the Vikings there. Gets a few shots on the Oracle. It's only a bunch of unupgraded gateway units and one Immortal and one Colossus, but now that the battery's up, it does feel like it's okay for a Showtime. And I feel like this is more just posturing than anything else. Like, Combat Shields isn't even done, but Gumiho is just scaring him, setting off the Stasis Traps. And guess what? His Forge is very late because Showtime was scared. He didn't take the gases yet on his third. He doesn't have a fourth Nexus. So Gumiho is just keeping him from exploding economically and with his upgrades and stuff, keeping him on the back foot. And behind it, hey, your own third base is up. You're even on workers, which is great for a Terran versus Protoss. 5 barracks pumping away on Marine Marauder. He hasn't gone engineering base second armor yet. Oh, second Viking. What? Second starport and a fusion core? And he's going 6 gases? What? What the hell? Is Gumiho rushing 3 base range lib? No one does this. Oh, nobody does this, guys. This is so exciting. So he's going to go range libs. I think the armory is to get +1 air weapons. And that's really cool. Oh, Cyclones do get caught, but they do a bit of damage to the Oracle. And so far, very few units have died on either side. Phoenix are ready, but the army's nearby. Showtime not keeping track of that army. That's a friggin' 5 medevac drop. Gumiho misclicking on his medevac repeatedly. Finally manages to climb inside. Oh, no. Showtime just moved those units out of position. Charge is finished. Charge just finished. Okay. Having charge should help out, but that battery's going to go down. Showtime needs to group up. He's only got 1 Colossus. That's not enough. That's actually too much bio, but not knowing how many more units are warping in, Gumiho says, hey, I got some value. Killed a battery, killed some zealots, pull away. 4th base goes up on the left. 6 gases are up. Unfortunately, Showtime with a bit of a misclick there. Those probes are trying to hug the battery. They're playing tag the battery rather than getting the assimilator. Advanced ballistics, +1 air weapons, and 4 liberators building at a time. This is such a counter to Showtime because Showtime's such a defensive player. And guess what, guys? He's relying on Phoenix. But guess what? Phoenix are short-ranged air units. And they're going to need to attack into the liberators with the Marines underneath them. He's going to force Showtime to come and fight his army. If he can siege up 8 ranged libs with a big army, that's going to cause nightmares for Showtime. Showtime right now, he sees the army, but he sees it a little bit late. Showtime needs to get out of here. Those oracles, they tag the army. But oh me, oh my, he's already in position. And look at that, Gumiho setting up some nice lib zones on the left flank. Showtime may have to abandon this position. Oh, it's just, he's not able to get there in time. Great movement by Gumiho to keep him pinned back. Cancels at the very last second. Wow. Does shave off a few of the Marines, which is something. But probe still long distance mining into the Liberators is a bit of a problem. And Showtime might want to take that middle base. Might be the better play here. The Liberator count continuing to grow right now. There's 6 of them out, about to be 7. Phoenix are going to fly across the map right now. And they are going to see no 4th base, which is at least one thing that makes Showtime feel a little bit better. 2nd Robo and now 3rd Robo is up as well. 2 Robos in the natural, 1 in the 3rd. Double Forge is upgrading. Phoenix grab a couple of SCVs. Double Command Center goes down there. 4th base floating to the top right. And a 5th and 6th base on the way. Gumiho is just methodically moving around the map. Single engineering bay adding +2 attack. And I love the way he just plays these different styles. I mean, Blinker's on the way and a lot more Stalkers warping in to try and deal with it. Big Zealot run by on the right side. Disruptor does throw out on the left. But I think he's well positioned if Gumiho gets back in the choke point with those Marines and sieges those Liberators. Gumiho's not watching right now. Phoenix having a skirmish with those units. Looks like 3 Phoenix have gone down. That was not good. Looks like the Phoenix accidentally ran into his army. Zealots will get cleaned up here. He could have clicked the command center. Might have been nice value there. Marines. Oh, he splits a few Marines behind. Sneaky Gumiho. But luckily, Showtime's nearby. Only loses 4 prods. Showtime trying to expand to that right side now. 19 Stalkers on the map, but there's 10 Liberators, and the problem is that Showtime's at home. Showtime cannot let him siege up. You can't engage into the Libs once they're sieged. If they're sieged, Showtime loses this base. He cannot fight that. There is no way he can clear this army. There's too much bio Lib there. But Showtime, he doesn't want to give this base up. He feels like he has to defend. But look, he's losing Disruptors. He's losing Disruptors right now. He loses 3 Disruptors. Uh-oh. Oh, he's going to lose the base and 3 Disruptors. And even that, the Liberators even pick a fight with the Phoenix in the main. With the help of the Vikings, they can win that fight. So much Lib Viking there. Battery overcharge goes down hilariously enough. The big drop comes in. Mass Lib siege. The Stalkers try to blink on it, but oh me, oh my. He has elevated his whole army on the high ground. And Showtime's immobility, his static defensive play getting taken advantage of. Gumiho is essentially building a wall on top of Showtime's wall. He's saying, oh, your name is the wall? That's fine. I've got longer range siege units. The Liberator is basically the trebuchet that is absolutely destroying the Han dynasty's last hope of holding out against the bloody Terran Golden Horde, man. I don't know which dynasty it was. I just chose one at random. Sorry, guys. Not good with my Chinese history. Xing dynasty? I don't know. It's one of them. You guys can correct me. Liberator's bio clearing out the main. This was just an excellent play by Gumiho there. Marine Marauder over there behind the 3rd base doing well. It's a desperate counterattack for Showtime, but there's just no way, man. I mean, even if he manages to somehow get a full base trade going, how do you ever deal with this army? You've already lost everything at home. You're just getting absolutely smushed. And how do you break the main base? Look, there's already 2 Liberators up there. He's going to siege them from nice and far back. He's making sure they siege from as far away as possible. He says, yep, you can come up this ramp. Come say hello to my Liberators. And with 4 more about to pop, that'll be an unbreakable main. Stalkers, Colossus, Zealots chasing to the right side right now. Gumiho's going to lose a lot of the orbitals. I mean, I like the way Showtime's trying to make a fight of this, but this was just way too technical from Gumiho. It's such a clever build as well. You know, Showtime's scratching his head going, well, I've never seen that one before. Someone rushing Liberators before Ghosts, not building a single Ghost. I did tell you guys he doesn't like Ghosts, right? I told you guys he doesn't like Ghosts. I've always loved the range Lib style of TvP. It's an older style, but it checks out. Planetary is going to try and fight as best it can, but there's just not enough damage support. The Colossus can focus the SCVs down. Showtime's micro leaving something to be desired there, as he is mostly targeting the Planetary. But honestly, when you're in this situation, you're kind of casting your mind around, your eyes around, looking for opportunities to get back in the game, and you're realizing there just aren't any. There's another army at home that could cause him troubles in of itself, not even counting this giant army down here. Hoo-wee. Here we go, Zealot, Stalker, Colossus coming forwards. Disruptor's going to throw those balls out. Nicely done. Good dodge by Gumiho. And he's got 16 Liberators, by the way, guys. This is the point where if you really want to kill his confidence, fly in, use their anti-air attack, and kill the Colossus without sieging the Liberators. That would be the Chad mode. Unfortunately, for our entertainment value, Gumiho is just going to do it the normal way. Showtime actually got 2 Liberators there. That was really well done. Disruptor does get 1 or 2 Marines and Marauders as well. But Gumiho brings the rest of his force down. He's going to land that command center. Showtime trying to rebuild in the top right of this map. Oh. Stalker for a Lib's not a bad trade. In a normal game, when you're at half the army supply, though, I don't know if that's going to cut it. Marine does find the corner base. Gumiho's kind of taking his time right now, but he's making a few more orbitals here. So he's back up to 3 orbitals. He's got a base mining. He's making more units, or at least he will once he builds a few depots. And he can also scan, most importantly. So as long as you don't get caught all unsieged, you'll be right. Liberators do get caught out, but man, Bio shreds Stalkers. So even though he takes out 2 of those, look how many Libs. They're not even sieging. The Libs weren't even sieging at the end there, and they're actually killing the Colossus. That's how you know you're done. Showtime has to tap out. GG. All right, guys, let's go. We got Gumiho here in game 2. Very nice range lib build in game 1. He's going to go command center on the high ground while Showtime thinks he's blocking him. Seeing no second SCV, he's probably going to realize, okay, there's no way. Seeing only a single gas, Showtime might be thinking maybe there's a proxy barracks out there. Because obviously, if they don't have a second gas, they have to either have a command center or a second barracks hidden somewhere. But for now, it looks like Showtime's pretty chill. Probe is just returning home. Reaper hot on its tail. It's going to try and put on some pressure. And a Chrono Boosted Adept coming out to start things off. Stargate starts. 2 minutes 18. Very crisp. That last build really throws your confidence off as Showtime. You've definitely got to just get out there and be more aggressive against range liberators. So we kind of saw a glimpse of it at the end of that game because we were like, why don't people go range libs more often? The problem is their immobility. They are a bit more mobile than a siege tank, but they still share the same characteristics. So anytime you're doing a siege unit push, like lots of tanks, liberators, same thing with lurkers, it's all about getting your army across the map because the opponent can just attack into your army, force you to siege, burrow your units, basically, and then they just run away before they get any shots off. And then you unsiege, try to move forward, and they run back in and start fighting you again. So you have to siege again, and you kind of get just stuck in one position, sieging and unsieging repeatedly, and it takes you forever to make your way across the map. So what you usually need to do is like sneak a drop across the map or something like that to distract the Protoss player, and then you can run your libs and your bio across and catch them off guard. But because Showtime was so constrained in his corner of the map that whole game, there just nothing could happen. Like, there was just nothing he could do. By the way, what are we looking at? Do you get concussive? It's a 1 Marine, 1 Marauder, 1 Reaper, and 1 Hellion. This is the Gumiho special discount, one of everything combo deal, guys. What is he doing? This is one of those KFC boxes where they give you like 1 nugget, a piece of popcorn chicken, 1 piece of original recipe, some tiny chips, and like just a friggin' burger patty for some reason. You're like, what is going on here, man? The Hellion does drive in, 1 Marine, 1 Marauder come in. I think the Reaper tried to jump in the main, but it's already gone down. It's gonna try and... Showtime, what was that recall, mate? Did you guys just see that recall? Gumiho hit him with something so surprising that he just recalled a pack of probes from next to the Nexus that they were already next to. I think he meant to recall the Oracle over, but he like misclicked it or something. That was really funny. Oh, anyway, Oracle does... I mean, it was a good hold for Showtime. He didn't really lose much. He's going to go for a quick third base. Oh, no, actually, he's going Robo 4 gas first. But he's actually seeing Cloak on the way. Now, what's interesting is I thought that was a fake Cloak because he opened up with a Viking. But now he's actually building a Banshee. So what looks like a blatantly fake Cloak actually is a real Cloak. But also he's building 2 barracks, Bio, Stim, and soon-to-be Siege tanks, I would imagine. This is about as weird as it gets. Okay, so he's going to build a 3rd barracks there. And then he's going to build a reactor and swap the starport over. So it's Cloaked Banshee into a 2-base push. It's going to hit such an odd timing. It could catch Showtime off guard, but so far he's been good on his scouting. Gumiho. Oh! Uh-oh! Dangerous move for Showtime. He's going to trade an Oracle for a Cyclone. Not too bad. 1-for-1's okay, but let's be real. The Oracle has a lot more utility later in the game than the Cyclone. So if that doesn't open up an opportunity to find more damage now or more usage, it's not really worth it for you as Showtime. You'd rather keep the stasis traps up. Now he's building batteries. He's got Immortals on the way, the Robo Bay, Twilight Council, and a very quick 3rd base. So Showtime is definitely ahead in this game. And but I just love that this series has already been, as chat says, this game is already as Gumiho as F. I agree, chat. I agree. Gumiho will find a way to make the game special. I'm not a big fan of that reactor placement. That means tanks can't move through there. He'll have to move around the left with any siege tanks in the future. Otherwise, he had the perfect avenue. You need a 2-space gap to let units through, like Thor's tanks. 3rd base going down on location at the bottom. So Gumiho is getting a decently timed 3rd. This is the I just hope your Oracle doesn't find it 3rd. Viking flies through. He sees the 3rd base, already has a good number of probes on it. It looks like it did get a kill as well. Looks like it got a probe and then lifted off and flew away. Now, the extended thermal lance upgrade hasn't started yet. A bit starved for gas right now is Showtime. Making Charge, Phoenix, and Colossus all at once is very expensive. And we should be seeing him chrono another Colossus. There we go. Here comes a big attack. Oracle's going to tag this army. Going to see the Medivacs there. The Cyclone and the Viking catch him. Oh, good movement by Gumi. And he should get it. Oh, it gets away, actually. Barely survived. Good job there by Mr. Showtime. Stasis Trap's going to catch the Cyclone. Might catch a few more Marines and Marauders there as well. Remember that charge is going to be done in about 40 seconds, a little less if he does something else. Banshee comes in, doesn't find anything. Tag plus Phoenix can deal with the Banshee very well. The Banshee so far has not really achieved anything at all because there's shield batteries in every base. That's definitely unfortunate for Gumiho. His first Medivacs are on the front. But Showtime has pretty good map vision so far. He's up in workers. He's in a way more comfortable position than the previous game. On the other hand, Gumiho has this ability to look like he's trying to kill you and then suddenly have a third base full of resources. And you don't know this. As Showtime, you're expecting him to go for the other third, but Gumiho changes it up, says you're not going to check over here, and he's actually going for quicker ghosts this time. So he's going to do a more standard bio ghost 3-base sort of attack. Cyclone comes in. He's going to try and pick off a few probes here. He already got one, but shield battery makes it harder. He's going to get 2 probes before going down. He's got position though. It's not that much bio. The Colossus is there. Zealots as well. He clicks on it. Oh, the Colossus barely survives. Very good hold there for Showtime. Keep in mind, Showtime doesn't have a lot of anti-air, just a few Phoenix, so he can't really chase this army down. Whoa, Showtime! Oh, bit of miss micro there. Luckily, that Oracle is still alive, giving him some excellent vision. I love Gumiho with these random little Marine run-bys he does. Just focuses down, 2 probes for 2 Marines. Well worth it. Extra gas coming in on that third base. 5 barracks pumping Marine and Marauder. He's got all those utility upgrades, and looks like +1 armor will finish. If you're going Ghost this early, you can't afford an armory, so he'll probably be sitting on 1/1 upgrades for a very long time. Looks like that just took out a hallucination. Phoenix Oracle flying forwards. Got to be careful here as Showtime. Does tag those units, and oh, the Widowmine doesn't quite fire. It's another Widowmine just to the left, though. Phoenix Oracle getting a good scout of this main base. Showtime has seen the third, of course. We'll pick up a few SCVs before getting out of here. Viking will take out one of those Phoenix. Blink is on the way. I mean, the Phoenix stage of the game is over. They are shut down, shut out. Zealots get scanned on the bottom, so they run away. 4th Nexus on the way for Showtime. He's going 2nd Robo. And it looks like he's not adjusting his style. Other than the earlier Blink, he's basically playing the same way he normally does. He's just going to go to 8 gates after the 2nd Robo in the 4th base. He's got a good Colossus count, 4 Colossus, a Warp Prism coming out, and I think it's going to be very much... I was thinking an all-in for Gumiho, but Gumiho builds an armory and a 4th command center. So Gumiho's not really committing to anything, and that can be very good if you're ahead of your opponent, you're getting further ahead. As it is, it feels like maybe he's even at best, and this army front on will destroy his army. His army is very Marine heavy, and his army will get wrecked. He should be trying to multi-prong right now. I think if Gumiho can split his army into 2 halves, try to attack both sides, that's where this style of army of Biomine Ghost excels. He's going to, once again, just split a pack of Marines off to the left. You know what's really funny? I'm pretty sure he shift-clicked those Marines individually. A lot of the older players haven't adapted to the modern mechanics of StarCraft 2. Just the way those Marines split off, it looked like he basically selected his units, clicked up there, and went shift-click 8 times to send the Marines away. Bit of an awkward way of doing it, but it does get the job done. Marine's going to grab 4, 5, 6 probes, 7 probes maybe. Oh, very nice. Oh, good little force fields, kind of warp-in force field there with the Zealots. And they try to take out a Zealot, but they can't. 9 probes for 8 Marines. Good little trade for Gumi. Also lowers his Marine count, which remember, his Marine count was too high, giving a lot of advantages to the Colossus in those engagements. Warp Prism's about to threaten for the first time. The thing about Showtime is normally you don't need to worry about the Warp Prism because he's such a defensive player. But in this scenario, Gumiho has forgotten about that. And now he's going 2nd Starport Fusion Core. He's going for +2 weapons, ship weapons. He's going for Ghost Cloak. He's getting all these nice little utility things. But man, Showtime's actually getting ready to attack. Another Marine run by on the south is going to come in. But look at this big army coming forward. He retargeted! He actually retargeted the Widow Mines twice. Gumiho, you beast! Otherwise, they would have fired on just a few Zealots at the front. But there is a warp in the back. And he's going to defend the north. Is Gumiho at the same time. He does run some Marines in. The Stalker and some Warpins will deal with that. Showtime pulled his whole army home for that. Big mistake for him. He should be in there kicking butt right now. Gumiho's third base and fourth base are wide open, but Showtime a bit too focused on defense. And that's one thing you can count on against Showtime, is Showtime will always prioritize defense over offense. That is just the way he's built. He likes to make sure he's safe at home, then go do the business to you. Still got a very good position. It's a lot of Stalkers. 11 Stalkers can kill a command center pretty quickly. You can see his hit points down there. It's getting focused. Disruptors are zoning. The command center does get focused down. You can see that crashing and burning in the top of our screen. Disruptors have blown their load. Only one of them is filled up and ready to go for more action right now. Showtime's going to try and extricate himself from this situation. The Colossus. Oh no, the Colossus. Ah! Awkward Colossus dance on the ledge. Oh no, 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 no. The Colossus out in the open. Two of them fall almost instantly. Showtime has got to say, you morons. Why do you always do this, Colossus? That cliff walk, the coolest feature they showed off in the StarCraft beta or even alpha before the game came out. I think it was like 2008. They're like, the Colossus is going to be a unit that can walk up and down cliffs to take advantage of tactical opportunities. Little did they realize 13 years later, it would just mean that it would automatically get stuck on ledges all the time and walk in the direction that it's not meant to go. The number of times Colossi walk to their death, man. And every Protoss player has this happen to them. This is not like, well, surely you could just correct that. But it's always like, in the heat of everything happening, you click an army from here to here, you just think they're going to go there. And the Colossus like, this way is technically one square faster. And they just start to spaz out on those ledges, man. 3-3 upgrades are on the way, though, and it's only 2-1. So a 1 upgrade advantage for a Protoss. And with only 1 engineering bay getting +3, the Terran armor upgrades are much lower. Having killed the 4th base, though, Showtime has all the time in the world. He's got a 5th base fully saturated. He could take a 6th as well. Double disruptor production still going. He's actually got triple robo as well. I love that Showtime's added this recently. So many Protoss players were so hesitant to add extra robos for so long. Finally made that adjustment. Blink does dodge one of the Widow Mines. The other one gets picked off. Just methodical moving forward here for Showtime. Disruptors go flying, taking out a few SCVs. And then he does back away. He's got a lot of disruptors. Oh, careful with that disruptor rally. Okay, good job. He does reposition them correctly. He's waiting for more observers to get forward. Showtime's done a very good job with replacing observers in this game. And knowing is half the battle, so he's got to get those observers forward, man. Ooh. All right, 4 libs with range coming in. Has Showtime let this go too long? Range just kicked in. There's 4 libs out. If he gets to 8 liberators with range, I don't think Gumiho is breakable. Showtime's letting this game drag on a bit longer than he probably should. He's still ahead in this game, but I definitely feel like this is a bit of an issue. Libs aren't here, though. Where are those liberators? Gumiho, did he siege them all on the other base? He sieged them all on the right. Oh, he's got to unsiege those and bring them over, mate. He does have a planetary here, at least. Hard to push into a planetary fortress. But things like that command center, if he picked off the sensor tower of the command center, that would have been very frustrating for Gumiho. Only 1 Colossus left alive. Not as much sustained range damage as he'd like. Very, very much focused on the balls is Showtime right now. Oh, he gets a triple Marauder ball. Takes out one of the libs. His libs have now come forward, though. They're starting to zone out all the different areas. More Liberators and Bio building. +2 ship weapons is about to finish. EMP plus a single +2 ship weapon shot will one-shot a Stalker. I guess you could call it a 1-2 punch since the EMP needs to land first, but 80 hit points, and guess what? They do 85 damage. Very nice. Cancels the corner base in the bottom right, or even kills it, I believe, actually. Yeah, first Nexus kill there from Gumiho this game. Bunch of Zealots and a Colossus split to the bottom. And with the cannon helping on the left, that's a very good fight there for Showtime. Not that many units that shoot up. The Stalkers warp in. They can blink forward and deal with this, but Showtime was distracted up top. He's going to clean up that whole army anyway. Very nicely done. The Cloaked Ghost's doing some damage. If they kill the Colossus, that would be badass. Oh, they killed the Colossus. Can't see me. That cannon just out of range there on Showtime's vision. Colossus being quite annoying. The rest of the army comes down. Another big half of the Terran army reinforcing their south side. Those ghosts being very annoying right now. They could drop some big EMPs, and they do. It's a lot of Bio ghosts there. The Bio does save these 2 ghosts. They're going to try and get out of there. Showtime's army coming down, cascading to the bottom right side. Starting to collect there. He'd like to trap these units, but Showtime definitely very cautious. Too many times Showtime has moved across the map and had a Terran surround his army and annihilate it, even though it looked like he was winning. And that's why he is so very cautious. Disruptor gets a very good shot, taking out a bunch of Bio Ghosts. Gumiho just doesn't really have the money. Ever since his 4th got sniped, it feels like he's a bit poor And Showtime's way more able to afford these trades, even though he's slightly down on them. Gumiho's the one with way less money, so he's got to be very cautious about his trading and really just turtle up for now. Oh, there's only one lib there, man. And he could just blink those Stalkers forward and take it out. Showtime taking a little while to start doing it, but he does push forward. Disruptor shot goes out, gets a Marauder there. This base is getting zoned out very nicely. The Disruptors are firing a bit too hard and fast, though. He's got to save some of those for the next step, but getting a few SCVs is good. Range Liberator in the top left gets 6 probes before the single Phoenix left over from the early game takes it out. Showtime's playing a very good game of StarCraft right now. He's just looking for the finish. Gumiho's hanging on for dear life. Don't know how you get around him. Gumiho keeps trying to do big backstabs, but he doesn't even have medevacs for that. He's only got 3 medevacs on the map. He's only got 5 libs, 3 medevacs, and a few Vikings. There's no Colossus to deal with the Vikings. That bio should run home right now. You got to be careful because you force him to warp in. Now you bring those units back and you try to do what you can. His army's out on the map. Oh, there's an army right behind him. Oh, this is going to get weird. Could he use the ramp? He's going to go for the Disruptors. Oh, the Disruptors are all exposed. Gumiho should have stood his ground and fought there. He could have killed all of them. He still gets like 8 Disruptors. Big mistake by Showtime. Gumiho, lovely flank on the army. Comes from an unexpected angle from the high ground. Loses only a few bio units for a mass of Disruptors. But Showtime strikes back. Showtime, if he can get rid of another 5th command center, that'll be big. That being said, Showtime's 5th base is in jeopardy. He runs the probes, though. He's got a new base in the top. But he's going to lose his 3rd and his 5th. Uh-oh. Showtime counter-striking. The SCVs try to run in to help on the south. He's trying to stabilize his Gumiho. And he gets the Disruptor just barely, but he's going to have to pull back to his production. He cannot defend out here. Looks like it's going to turn into a bit of a base trade. Dark Templar coming in. Gumiho needs to pull back. What's he doing fighting out here? He has to pull back to the high ground. Gumiho giving Showtime a bit of an opportunity. Oh, I really thought Gumiho had this after killing those Disruptors and initiating a base trade. But if he loses his orbitals, he's screwed, guys. Because remember, he's got a few ghosts for EMP, but that's about it. There's Dark Templar warping in all over the map. This is one of the last 2 orbitals. Once they're gone, there is no detection. That orbital needs to get away. This orbital needs to get away. He needs to save those scans. And uh-oh, there's already a Dark Templar going after the ghost. That EMPs itself in order to reveal it. More Dark Templar just up here. There's another one going in one at a time. He doesn't have any EMP available right now. Oh god, he needs to land the command center. There we go. He's going to try and land that command center. He's told it to land right now. The bio coming in. Oh, he's so stimmed. The Dark Templar are tearing him up right now. Showtime's breached the production and overwhelmed there. Gumiho. Oh, he finally gets a scan. Kills like 4 Dark Templar, but he just lost so much to that. And look at that. The single Phoenix here trying to save this Nexus. Showtime is going to save the Nexus with a recall. And Gumiho does have to tap out. Man, catching those Disruptors, it looked like it gave Gumiho an opening. But the way Showtime quickly dove in to attack both sides of the base and map at once was good enough. The Dark Templar defense looking very good. Showtime does tie up the series. All right. Let's go, guys. We've got Showtime in the top left side of the map. And Gumiho down here in the bottom right. Game 3 to decide it all now. Gumiho is looking pretty good with some of his movements. But I think in that more standard game, Showtime looked pretty comfortable. Do you just go back to Range Liberators in Game 3, go straight to it? I do think Gumiho just looks like a little bit more pointed when he skips on the ghosts. I feel like his non-ghost points or strategies are so much more pointed in terms of like that I'm going to siege your base, kill it, or deny your 4th, and then pick up boost in the main and just siege 8 Liberators. Dude, it's so sick. It's so sick. Double gas opening up against a Gateway Scout. Very safe for Showtime. Always loves to scout. You don't really want to risk being too scary gambly against Showtime because he does almost always scout. That being said, I feel like I saw Cure double proxy marauder him. No, that was Cure versus Neeb. It was Neeb who got caught not scouting. Sometimes I think a Neeb and Showtime is the same person because they both were basically the Protoss who, along with Stats, in Legacy of the Void, after it came out in 2016, they were the trendsetters. They were the dominant players in that version of StarCraft 2, that first year of Legacy of the Void. And I learned a lot by studying these guys. So sometimes I kind of conflate all 3 of those players. Stats obviously had the highest highs of them all. And I believe he's back and competing now. So keen to see how quickly he can regain that level because he was always the macro god of Protoss. 3 workers on one on the other. Once again, Gumiho hitting that inefficiency just the way he likes to. I normally love everything he does in his builds, but this frustrates me to no end. Reactor after Reaper on the way. And it's factory there. Why would you do this? It makes no sense. It's like a Terran player thing as well. I haven't seen any Protoss... Actually, no, Hero does it sometimes as well. To be fair, though, Hero or Dark, I'm not surprised by. I get offended when Terran players are inefficient with their builds, because Terran is all about build order optimization. That's like how the race plays. It is all about your build orders, setting up timings. And then you watch a guy like Hero or Dark, and you're like, yeah, these guys are sloppy, reactive by feel players. Like, they're amazing with their killer instinct and their micro, but I'm not surprised when I see them doing something blatantly inefficient in the early game for no reason, because I'm just like, it's Hero, it's Dark. The man's probably 3 Sojus deep, it doesn't matter. Gumiho, I always think of as this, like, Omega Brain nerd who's not as fast as the other players, but he's, like, doing these mental calculations on how he can get the situation into a weird spot where he can outplay his opponent with the strategy rather than with the micro and the macro. So when he does something inefficient, I do get a little bit thrown off me game, a little bit frustrated. 3 Reapers and a Hellion, interesting. This is quite a commitment to the early game pressure. There's 2 batteries because Showtime is one of the safest boys out there, so he's not going to find anything. Yeah, Showtime is so predictably safe with the double battery, double adapt oracle, that this Reaper opening doesn't really pay off for Gumiho. He's going to go for a Cyclone. Do we see a Viking power up straight away, or does he go for maybe a drop? Oh, Tech Lab. Okay, interesting. Maybe another Banshee opening here. Phoenix are very good against it, though. I like that Twitch chat's explanation for the inefficiency is they're like, well, you know, it's easier because you don't have to change the rally point as often if you just leave 3 on 1 and then you can rally back onto the single gas. I'm like, the man with 320 APM and like 3 buildings in the early game can't spam. He can't spare a single click to change the rally point in the command center. Ooh, I know you guys are joking, but like, I'm still so G'd up over this. I'm just like, why? Okay, it's going to be 4 gas, a Robo coming in, extra gateway as well. Multiple Phoenix coming in. And it looks like this is the Tech Lab Liberator build. So for those who don't know, you don't need a Tech Lab to build a Liberator. But maybe this can kind of trick the Protoss player. So he's like, haha, you'll think it's a Raven. But in fact, it's a Liberator. You never saw this one coming, did you? Haha. Gumiho with the 300 IQ switcheroonie. He's also, so he's going to go Liberator in the main, and it's like a double Cyclone Reaper Marine pressure, and he's going to add Raven and extra barracks behind it. Okay, this is going to slow down the 3rd base. Is there an Immortal on the way? Holy crud. Okay, guys, Showtime has misread the play. Where's the Immortal? He's supply blocked. Oh no, a whole chrono gets wasted there. That Immortal should already be halfway done. Instead, it's only now starting. No second battery either. He does have battery overcharge, so he should still be okay. But this is just unnecessarily difficult. An Immortal slaps against these sort of pressures, but it's going to be a bit tougher without it. He's got a few Stalkers and a Sentry, which do help. Battery overcharge will come in. That means you're using that without picking off any of the enemy units. Immortal is out now. Liberator's in the main, by the way. Sorry, guys. Should have caught that. 4 probe kills. Massive lost mining time. Does get rid of the Hellion. It's a lot of Stalkers. I think Gumiho should back off. He's wasted a lot of mining time. He's lost minimal units. He's massively slowed down the 3rd of his opponent. His 3rd's already started. So he's going up to a 3rd barracks now after the 3rd command center. He's getting double engineering bay. He's really messed up Showtime's build order. Uh-oh. Oh, got to keep those Cyclones there. Got to make sure these units get home safe. Showtime's going to try and counterattack. He does have the better army in the middle of the map if he's all together, but if Gumiho can just get home, get sieged up, have the Cyclones, the Marines, the tanks all positioned correctly, I don't think Showtime can do anything to him, so Showtime has to take that delayed 3rd. And yeah, definitely being slow on that Immortal really hurt him there. So very nice little pressure from Gumiho, just keeping Showtime off the 3rd base, and now he's going to explode into a macro game. Yeah, uncharacteristic supply block for Demour. These sort of things, like a lot of players kind of shrug their shoulders when they get supply blocked. For a guy who plays as defensive as him, you can't be affording those mistakes. All right, 1 Phoenix will die for the Raven. That's definitely worth the trade. 2? What's that, 400 range on that Cyclone? Hello? I think it's actually 14, by the way. It's actually very long range. But still, that just felt a bit further. I didn't think it would get 2. 2 Phoenix for a Raven is obviously not as good a trade. The stasis traps do get these units frozen, but not really achieving much. And we've got the first Colossus about to pop out. Forge and Twilight Council popping up in the main base. Sorry, guys, not my best observing. Kind of veering around a bit quickly. Oh, Oracle's going to slow down the barracks that are building. That's nice. Phoenix will pick up a few of these units as well. And... oh, that was unfortunate. He accidentally sent the Oracle back instead of the Phoenix. So he ends up leaving an extra SCV there. Showtime's looking a little shaky in this game. He's got to clean this up, man. I believe he has the power. You know, a man who is this confident normally in his macro game, I think he can get it there, and I think he can win a macro game versus Gumiho. But it's going to be a tough one, especially because he's just started +1, and guess what? The armory's there. Gumiho's going to do that. Remember I said he goes to 2-2 a lot faster than a lot of players? He's timing out the armory to start 2-2 the second 1-1 finishes. Gumiho is not planning on trying to win the game anytime soon. He's just chilling. He's building tanks, finally getting to 5 barracks production, so he's basically making himself unkillable with siege tank bio. And then he's just like, cool, I'll start 2-2, add some ghosts, and Showtime, if he knew this, he would rush to a 4th base, but his scouting has been limited. He doesn't really realize just how powerful economics, the economic position of Gumiho is right now. A few zealots are building up charge as well. I do like the stasis trap spread. Not enough players really optimize that, so very well done. And he does start a 4th nexus as well as starting up some more probes, does Showtime. He's happy to play a 4-gas style for now, giving him a lot more minerals for zealots, pylons, and extra probes and nexi. Gumiho started that 2-2 very quickly, man. It's interesting that he's gone to 4 siege tanks. Looks like he cancelled the 5th one, which means I expect this factory to swap off and build a reactor, probably for another starport. It's a Widow Mindless style. So Gumiho it's got a moratorium on any Widow Mine usage in combat. They've ruled that it is a war crime to use Widow Mines here on Grasvin. He's deciding not to this game. 3 ghosts starting up. Tank sieging in the middle of the map. I don't think Gumiho wants to fight. I honestly think Gumiho's whole goal here is to scare Showtime from going to late game. If Showtime's going 2nd Forge, triple Robo, 6 or 8 gases right now, I think he'd be in a better spot. Look at that. Gumiho just moves out and then he just backs away. And Showtime's been sitting on 70 probes. He's not quite as big of an economy as he could be. He's now transferring workers from the main. But yeah, I really think Gumiho's doing such a good job of just keeping Showtime guessing. And guess what? There's a 4th command center behind it. He's got ghosts and bio and 2-2 and 4 siege tanks with a 5th one on the way. He's going to keep building tanks. It's a very slow static army. They'll set off the stasis trap with those marines. Oracle flies over his army, a bit dangerous. Showtime gets away with it for now. Got his 2nd robo started. Tank starting his shell on these Colossus. Colossus looking for the laser beams on those marines. Few zealots going to come around for a backstab on the 3rd as well as a prism in the main. Gumiho is wide open against this. Gumiho being so lazy on his defense because he's playing Showtime. I get you want to adapt to the player, but thankfully he does react quickly with the rally on his 3rd base. The warp prism down there. He's going to quickly pick up and pull back, waiting for a moment longer before he goes in with that. Tanks are starting to encroach on the territory. With the EMPs available as well, Archons will do something. It's 24 zealots. If he flanks this with zealots, I actually think Showtime can clear this army because the prism is forcing a lot of bio to be left at home. He warps in the zealots there. Now the bio is going to do a very dangerous positioning to the top, but the Colossus can move up and isolate that bio. Okay, Disruptor's going to look for the Marauder. He's looking for the triple kill. Great reaction by Gumiho. Handles it. Cleans up the warp prism in his main. Gumiho's got 3-3 started as well. What the heck? Oh, he's going for it. Showtime is going for it. He's got to be careful that not too many zealots go north. Pretty good angling. The Phoenix pick up the siege tanks. Very nice pickups on the siege tanks. Showtime with a brilliant engagement. The 2-2 versus just +2 attack for the Protoss. Actually looking pretty good in terms of how the bio trades versus the zealots. But too much of his army, I think, was on his side of the map, pinned back from the warp prism. Gumiho spent too long setting up this push, and he didn't reinforce the push for too long. He's actually still ahead in supply even after all that, but he loses a lot of his important units. Uh-oh. Oh no, he's going to lose a Colossus. Showtime hanging around a bit too far in enemy territory. Blinker's not ready. Those Stalkers have to be careful. And a 5th base goes up on the very bottom. A dangerous 5th base for Showtime. Showtime needs to get control of the middle of the map, or he's not going to be able to secure these 5th and 6th bases. Same goes for Gumiho to a certain extent, but Gumiho's 3-3 upgrades are scary. It's going to be +3 attack versus 3-3, and that is nasty. Extra barracks coming in, guys. That's going to take it to 7 barracks. A lot of players play 8 barracks. Gumiho often just goes for 7. Feels like if he gets those barracks up a little bit quicker and just goes for 7, it should be good enough. Mixing in ghosts, marines, marauders. Not many ghosts, only 1 out right now and only 1 building. But he's going to go fusion core 2nd starport as well. Scouts this 5th base, and Showtime is not very rich. He's got a 3rd robo on the way. But of course, no sign of that 2nd forge. No sign of a dark shrine. That production tab is not exactly, or that structures tab, I should say, not exactly where a Protoss wants to be when the Terran's fully established on 4 bases, going to 5. 20 Marauders, 36 Marines, 2 Ghosts. We need more Ghosts. I'm telling you, Gumiho is allergic to building a lot of Ghosts. Finally, he queues up 3 more Ghosts. He needs them, man. It's funny, guys like Clem sometimes have half their army as Ghosts in TvP. There's guys like Gumiho, he builds 3 Ghosts, then he goes back to pure Marine Marauder. I think part of it's habit just because he plays Ghostless so often. Oh! Showtime with a massive catch! He's just exploring the map, patrolling, stumbles upon a giant pack of bio, blinks on it, takes down the Medivacs. Gumiho's going to dive the south. This is a crazy dive for Gumiho, though. Recall's available. I don't think he gets anything done with this. He just lost so many units. But wait, Showtime, he sees it. Clump up and recall. Okay, he's recalling to that bottom base. And Gumiho just lost an army for free. Oh, that's a sort of uncharacteristic mistake from Gumiho you cannot afford right now. He was looking like he's in the lead in this, and now suddenly it's like, okay, are we though? Are we really? I definitely want to see Showtime try and get some more observers out right now. I think those are the most important thing. Notice how his robos are idle. You need more observers. Observers are what wins you this game. It's all about vision, because otherwise this happens. Showtime caught with his pants down. 4 disruptors go down before a single shot lands. 2 balls land. One of them does, at least, with a big shot. Another one tries to cover the retreat, but Gumiho's hot on his tail. 1 Colossus goes down. It's 3-3 upgrade time. 3-3 Terran is here. Their Gauss rifles in hand. Bayonets fixed, and they are charging the Protoss. The Protoss unzips his pants, drops trowel, throws out a few balls, and Gumiho has to think twice. There's still a lot of Terran there, and there's only a few disruptors, stalkers, and battery overcharge. Liberator is getting shot down. Battery overcharge might just allow him to hold. It's so close. But man, he needs a big zealot warp, and he needs more disruptors, 3 of them building at a time. The vision in the middle of the map is so important, and Gumiho has punished Showtime for losing that vision. Showtime got a massive advantage in a fight, and then he stumbled into the map, all spread out, all disorganized, and Gumiho just dived right on top. Having such a production advantage in the early game, Gumiho was able to quickly remax with that big income, and he's got a good setup. Cancels the kills the 3rd, cancels the 5th or 6th base in the top. Showtime's still got 4 bases, including 2 freshies down here, but that cuts into his gas mining, and that's really going to hurt him. He should be rebuilding a Nexus. This one? Surely that middle base is better than this base. Doesn't make sense, surely. That's a crazy base. Oh my god, Widowmines keep firing here. Finally, they are getting cleaned up by the disruptors. +1 armor's on the way. Showtime is going to very slowly close the upgrade gap on the armor side of things. He does see the Liberator coming, so a few Stalkers will be ready to deal with that. Red hit point Liberator gets 1 shot. Very nicely done. Lib range is done. +1 ship weapons. Gumiho has not started +2 just yet. And there's a Warp Prism waiting to hit that main base once more. Showtime is broke, though. That being said, Gumiho is only on 69 workers. Even with mules, it's not that impressive. Another Liberator gets caught here. Showtime happy to take that kill. Bioghost Lib is there. Zealots get inside the main base. They're going to start causing a bit of a ruckus, trying to distract Gumiho, cause some problems. Showtime's pushing with the inferior army right now. He's on 7 disruptors. He's rebuilding 3 Colossi, which I actually really like. There's only 4 Vikings on the map. Oh, when did that sneak by? Oh, he spotted it, but he's only got a few Stalkers. Okay, there was a few Colossus and Zealots behind it. Good handling. If I was Showtime, I'd be diving on that army right now. I guess he needs the Disruptors or the Colossus down there on the low ground before he can jump on it. But this is a section of Gumiho's army that's exposed. Showtime's taking a bit too long to get down there, and that means he's exposed on the bottom. That Nexus that he took in the crazy position is going to go down. And this Nexus is going to go up to replace it as that Nexus dies. Liberator range comes in again. Oh, another Lib range harass. Very nicely done, making things very problematic for Showtime. He's going to get a cancel on this as well. You're kidding me. Oh, those +3 Marines forcing another cancel. These are just little pokes, and yet they're finding big damage. I do like that Showtime's got an observer there now, so he's got a bit better vision in the middle. But, man, it just literally 1 Stalker there can kill it, or 2 or 3 Stalkers blinking in. Showtime needs to fix this. Showtime has still not fixed that Liberator mining on the bottom, and he's out positioned on the top now. 4 Liberators leading the charge. Showtime looking desperate right now. Gumiho's just out positioning him. It's just a bunch of Stalkers. They've got no meat in front of them, only 2 Colossi. The army comes from behind. That's why. That's where I was like, where is Showtime's army? They came from the right. They came from behind. And the Stalkers are going to go forward as well. Maybe blink on those medevacs would be a good call. He's letting a lot of the bio escape. And oh no, you're kidding me. The bio's coming down the south. Battery overcharge cannons and some Zealot Warpins going to try to do what they can. Gumiho does end up teleporting or microing away a little bit. Phoenix finally cleans up that lib. He could have dealt with that with Stalkers. I don't think Showtime realized that that Liberator was in reach of Stalkers. It was easily in reach, but he's under so much pressure. And look at that. The Marauders that were destined to go down catch 2 or 3 Disruptors on the way out, bringing the Disruptor kills up to 11. He's down to just 4 Disruptors. Showtime does not have a lot of balls right now. Gumiho has taken him away. He snapped him. He said, I'm confiscating those. You're not allowed to have those. Those are illegal in the Gresfin playground. And, you know, I mean, growing up in Australia, we had a rule, no hat, no play, because everyone gets skin cancer because we had that hole in the ozone layer. So at lunchtime at school, if you didn't have a hat, they'd make you sit in the shade. And it sucked if you forgot to bring a hat to school. Turns out Gumiho has instituted a any balls, no play policy on this map. He said, if you bring your balls out here, I'm going to put you back in your corner, Showtime. You're not allowed, no ball games on the Gresfin court. You're going to damage the ground or something. Man, wasn't childhood just filled with weird excuses from adults to tell you not to do things? I remember at one point I was at my mate's house and we were jumping in the pool and his dad came out and was like, stop jumping in the pool. The pressure from you jumping in the pool will break the side of the pool. We're like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, from the water. We're like, what? From the displacement of the water? You think it's going to break the tiles on the side of the pool? He's like, yes. And we're like, oh my God. This man doesn't understand physics. He was an engineer as well. That was an impressive one. Anyways, Viking bio coming in on the north for Gumiho. Army on the south. Marauding around. Showtime's got a big army, but he still needs the balls to connect, and he's got so few of them. 4 Disruptors as well. Stalkers doing what they can. Yeah, it was not an above ground pool. It was in the ground. Zealot, Stalkers, Colossus doing what they can on the south. It's just, if Gumiho can isolate one of these armies, he'll do very well. The Vikings are on the wrong side of the map. Disruptor does get a decent hit. Showtime's fighting back right now. I feel like he's just got nothing going for him economically. Like, he loses one fight, he can't replace this army. But he's making a play of it. If he can group up his army and surround this, jump on it, isolate, kill the Vikings, his Colossus do look very good in this scenario. Unfortunately, it is still 3-3 versus 3-1, so the upgrades plus the EMP makes this absolutely astounding for Gumiho. He doesn't have any lives on the field, though. The Blink Zealot Colossus coming if the Stalkers can quickly focus the Vikings. But look at the pullback micro for Gumiho on the right. The Vikings take out one of the Colossi. They'll get another one on the retreat, if not all 3. And now it's just Zealots and Stalkers. Where are the Disruptors, guys? They were all off to the left. The Disruptors were separate from the army. No balls, any balls, no play. Showtime comes out without any balls. He still gets pushed back off the playground. The bio goes coming on forward there. And the Zealot Stalker is just going to be getting overwhelmed. As long as he doesn't get hit by the balls, Gumiho's got this. Vikings land on the top. They're going to take out that base at the same time. Nicely done, man. Gumiho showing some really unique styles of TvP. I loved his special combo box with one of everything in it in game 2. Oh, wait, hold that thought. Disruptor shot kind of lands, but man, 3-1 Stalkers just can't hold their own against 3-3 bio. Even 3-3-3 Stalkers would be getting hammered here. But to have 3-1 Stalker Zealot, oh, the Marine Marauder just does way too much damage. That little bio army, I mean, this is only a small section of Gumiho's forces at this point, and it just will not go down. Gumiho has another army behind this. He's dodging Disruptor shots. He's styling right now. And remember, guys, those Vikings, they lifted to the high ground. They've landed back on the low ground again. They're denying that Nexus, and he's got another big blob of bio ready to come across the map. Nexus will go down there. There's just very little mining left for Showtime at this point. Gumiho really played very nicely this series. I love it, man. This was such a cool way to play the range lib rush on 3 base before going for an armory or anything else like that, or a 4th command center. It was so cool to start the series. And he finishes it off in style as well with some very nice positioning. GG, well played by Gumiho.